right, how y'all doing today? Awesome. Y'all look good. Y'all feeling as good as you look? Well, okay then. I guess we can start. Amen? I'm a little churchy. Amen? Oh, thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay. All right, so we're going to have an amazing time tonight, right? Listen, I can't wait to get into this conversation, but first, I love for the energy to be where it needs to be before I introduce the guest. So, can we hear some hand claps, some noise? Just a little bit more. I know we can get the energy there. Hey. Because y'all know this is Keke's first time in Delaware. We got to show her how the 302 do. We got to show her. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, you better buckle up because you are in for a ride. We have a true gem here in the building. She's been on our screens since she's been a kid, showing us what it truly means to be a multi-hyphenate. Whether she's singing, acting, or hosting, she dominates whatever field she's in. You've seen her run Nickelodeon, Disney, and take Hollywood by storm. Now she's raising the bar as an author, a businesswoman, and a new mama. And the gag is, y'all, she's here with us today. Y'all give it up for Miss Keke Palmer.
Hey guys! Look at that baby. Hey baby. Oh my God.
How you feeling?
I'm so good. It's so good to be here. This is my first time in Delaware, like Chanda was saying. I am so glad to sit here with y'all and have this conversation. So thank you for being here.
Listen, I love the energy is here. I love this. We showing her how Delaware do, honey, okay? First of all, your dress. I keep talking about your dress, but
and
it's amazing.
I keep talking about your dress. We both came in like your dress, like that Spider-Man meme. It's you.
Yes, we're definitely feeling it. I told her my best friend picked mine out. She was telling me about her dress. Like, we just gonna have to swap after this is over.
I'm here for that.
Okay. Now, before we hop into some questions, I always like to do an icebreaker with my guests.
Yes.
So I want to do a little game. Is that okay with y'all?
I love
Is that okay, Miss Keke?
Yeah, that's so fun, yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna play a game of pass or play, Keke Palmer edition. Okay, so based on your past roles, I'm going to ask you whether you would play the role again or if you would pass.
Okay.
And if you pass, I want you to share what you would change about that specific role.
Okay, this is good. I'm ready.
Are we ready? All right.
Oh.
True Jackson VP.
Honey, I loved being the VP. I would play. I would do it
okay.
again. I would love to see what she would be like now. Like, will we be taking like a Frasier type approach, a Mary Tyler Moore? Like, what is the office like in this time? So I'm here for it. I'm here to be true again.
I'm here for y'all.
She better own the company now.
Yes. Come on.
She's been working there since she was 15. She need to own it.
Beloved was working hard. She was working hard.
Okay.
All right. This is where America fell in love with you, though.
Oh.
Miss Akila and the Big. How we feeling? We going
So look, if I did do it again, it would have to be different. Like, I'm thinking like she would have to be the Dr. Larrabee now, right? She would have to have a group of young kids that she teaching how to spell. And she's taking all of them to the National Spelling Bee. A little Akila and the Bee mixed with Remember the Titans or something, you know what I mean? We going. I'm here for that.
I'm here for that too. Okay. What about this one though? Mercedes
now wait a minute.
and Hustlers.
Mercedes, we not going back to the strip club, mama. You know, we got to pass on that. She got to be moving on up. You know what I mean?
Okay. So she's moving on up.
Yes.
She's been delivered. Okay. All right.
She's been delivered.
Zayday from Scream Queens. I love this show.
Yes, this was a good. I would do it again. I would play this again. Where's the show going? I would be so curious to know. Because we jumped from the first season to the second season, so I would want to know what are we talking about in the third season? What is the satirical element? What's the commentary? But it was a very fun show, so I would play for sure again. Yeah,
we would love this. We would love this. And how about Alice?
I loved Alice. So I got to see what the storyline is. You know, I'm ready for her to keep whooping some more behind.
Okay.
Because at the end, how we left off in that movie, she done burnt the house down.
Yes.
It was very Pam Grier. So I'm ready for her to take it elsewhere, to burn some more houses down. So let's play.
Come on, we're going to play
I'm here for it. Justice. Okay, well,
Wednesday in Pimp.
I don't want to spoil it, but Mama at the end, so
Okay.
I can't play. She coming back? She's a ghost.
Is there anything you would change about her story?
What I would change about her story? You know what? No, because it's a story that needs to be told. Her story is valid. It was definitely heavy. She went through some hard stuff, but she learned valuable lessons, and she learned a very valuable lesson in the end. So, you know, I feel like, you know, hey, we got to tell every story.
Yeah.
Every story deserves to be told.
She had a well-rounded story. I love that for
really
her. Yeah, you played that role.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Did y'all like the game?
I love the game. It was very fun.
Awesome. So we're going to hop into some career-related questions. Are y'all ready? So, Miss Keke, you've been in the game since childhood. Like, you've been on our screens for decades. When did you realize that you wanted to be in the entertainment industry?
Well, you know what? I thought, go. I love that. You know what? I thought, I don't know if I knew the entertainment industry, but I knew I wanted to be in entertainment or be a performer as young as 5, watching my mom sing in church. I really loved watching how the audience responded to her when she would sing. You know, they would just be so elated, and people would come up to her after church and say, I really needed that. Or, Sharon, you sang that song today. And I was like, oh my gosh, whatever that is that's happening, I want to make people feel like that too. And so that's when I knew that I wanted to be a performer for sure.
Absolutely. I'm here for that. Did y'all love that answer? Yeah. I feel like I know I met Miss Sharon backstage, but I feel like I knew her already because, like, you know, she's there with you.
She is. Yeah. She's there. You know, and even as I've continued to grow and my story as an entertainer has continued to open up, people have gotten to know how I am able to be and do the things that I'm doing, and it's because of my mom and my dad, my family.
Yeah. You come from a musical family, right?
Yes. Both of my parents were artists, so they met at speech tournaments in high school. In high school. And so they went to a speech tournament in New Orleans. My mom won, and my dad saw her sing, and he was like, I've got to get that girl. Okay, it was like Michael Jackson in that video. And he had pursued her. Long story short, they got married. You know, and they still did a little bit of theater, but as you guys know, life's. And so following their dreams didn't really seem like something that was possible or attainable in everyday life. And so eventually when they had kids and everything, they would talk to us about that world that they fell in love in and how they, you know, what their dreams were and all that kind of stuff. And we always wanted to find a way to be a part of that. And so when I was 9, they had read in the newspaper about Lion King auditions. And they were like, remember that thing we were telling you about with the acting and how we did theater and everything? Would you be interested in doing something like that? And I was like, yeah, I would love to do that. It'd be so cool. And so they took me down, and I auditioned for Nala and the Lion King, and I made it down to like 100. I don't know. I didn't get that far, but I made some progress. And then they asked me, you know, are you sad? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a little bit sad. And they're like, but would you want to do it again? I was like, yeah. And that's how it began in terms of it being this career for me.
That's amazing. Okay. And so, you know, Keke, when we see you on the screen, a lot of us see ourselves in you.
Oh, that's amazing. That's what it's about, because I am you and you are me. We the same. Yeah, for sure.
For sure. So this next question is specifically for the sisters. Do I have any sisters in the room? Okay. This is for us. So, Keke, sometimes when people get to a certain level of status or celebrity, people think like, oh, they don't go through anything. I'm wondering, how do you navigate the isms that Black women experience, like racism and colorism and texturism in Hollywood?
It's really hard because everybody deals with it differently, and we all deal with it in our daily life. I do feel like, without totally being dismissive of what I'm experiencing, because I do discuss it with family and friends and the people that matter to me in my life, I also have to have a certain objectivity about the fact that these people don't care about me, you know? So what good does it do to put what you think and feel about me on a personal level in the center of my life? So I think at a certain age, I shut it off. And it just no longer mattered to me why somebody felt a way or did something, or did they say, I can't go through my day picking up all your microaggressions and tallying them up on a list. Because then I'm not following, then I'm not thinking about what I gotta do. And so that's how I kind of do it. Now, if a situation gets far, then yeah, you know what to do. You know what to do. But I don't know why I went to Rick James just then. Oh my gosh. But yeah, you know what to do when it's time to say something or do something. You know what that feels like. But you do got to be careful about the way you spread your energy out. You don't want to spread yourself thin, because there's a Toni Morrison quote about that, where the real function of racism is to distract you. That's the greatest function of it. So, I try my best to navigate in that regard and stay focused on what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, it is a major distraction, and sometimes it can cause us to feel like we want to conform. How do you battle that, being who you are in these spaces?
Well, conformity, or, as we talk about it, there's another word for it, assimilation. A lot of those things are also forms of language, right? It's the way if I go into this corporate office, how can I make sure they know? I'm not going to say, "What's good?" I'm going to say, "Hi, sir. Glad to be here." It's like balancing the language of different spaces, but also remaining the true of who you are and bringing your culture to the table. It is absolutely a task. And it's something that my mom was also a teacher. And when I got into the industry, she said, "Keke, you can be articulate. You can make sure that, you're using words that can help people understand what you're saying, but also show yourself. Show who you are. Let people know where you're coming from, so that one thing that you just said a few minutes ago is that when people see me, they see themselves in me. That's a part of that. You don't want to get to that position and then the very people that you're speaking to, they're like, "I don't recognize you." You want them to know, "Oh, she's me." When you say, "And the gag is," you know what I mean? You want them to know, she my girl, she's my, And so my mom spoke to me about that stuff, about that balance. But it is a balance. In every space you go in when you're trying to get your point across, it is like having an arsenal of all this different language, but making sure that you're authentically being you and knowing that that's what makes you you and what you bring to the table. Never let that die. Thank you so much.
She is dropping so many gems, y'all, and I'm just picking them up on the go. Listen. So thinking about this from a psychological perspective, because the majority of people in here know that I'm a psychologist, I'm wondering for you, Keke, how is
fabulous,
it,
by the way.
I appreciate that. How is it that you manage your mental health with such a busy schedule and a lot going on?
Well, I do believe in therapy. I believe in a lot of different things. I think that, I really do. I think that stuff is all here for us to use. That's why we have people like you and people that study this stuff. There's another aspect to it. So, I'm a praying person. I do therapy. I talk to my friends and my family. I get a massage. I go get my nails done, my feet done, my hair done. There's so many elements of taking time with yourself that can help and feed or put you mentally in a good place. And so I just always try to do checks and balance, like, "Oh my gosh, I've been working so much, I may need a massage," or "Let me go get a facial," or "I got to spend time with my sister. I ain't talked to her all week." Whatever, or you know what? This is serious. Let me check in with that therapist real quick. I need to see that lady. Whatever it is, I try to do it. So I got to see that lady. So I got to stay on point.
So, come on, see the lady, and I am that lady.
That's right. We got to see you.
See me. So you brought up a really great point, though, in your answer. So talking about I haven't talked to that person in a minute, let me reach out. A lot of people don't realize how relational self-care is a thing. And so how do you do that with being embedded in Hollywood and such a busy schedule? How do you still make time for your family and friends?
It's really important. It's something that I've gotten better at over the years. I feel like that was something that really affected my mental health when I was younger, because I would have to go on the road and do movies, and they could only really afford for me and my mom to go. And then we'd be leaving my dad and my three siblings behind, and I would sometimes come back home and I would be like, "Do I know y'all still?" And that was really scary. And I think it was ultimately what I realized was a dissociative defense mechanism, because I missed them too much. I was just so sad of missing them all the time that it kind of I was like, and so when I came back, I was like, "Hey, And so that was really hard to get through. But as I got older, obviously through therapy, understanding what I was experiencing, I realized what I needed, and I implemented more opportunities for me to spend time with my family. And so, now actually my sisters and I, we live together. So my older sister, my younger sister, we all live together, and my older sister has 3 kids. And so our children grow up like as siblings,
Wow.
And so that's really, that makes me so happy, So we spend time like that, On the weekends, I have to really tell my team, I'm like, don't play with my weekends, y'all. I need those days to go out with my girls and have a drink. And I really do push for that, where sometimes y'all know how it is, where you're just so tired, but you just say, I need to have this cocktail hour. Let me just push. I'm fighting for my life to get out here and do this cocktail hour, but I got to do it because I have a life outside of my job. And then when you get there, you're a little tired, but then y'all get into the tea and then you're there.
I'm here for it. So a lot of us need to follow in them footsteps, like making more time. I'm here for it. Okay, so who were some women who inspired you in terms of like your career choices?
Wow. Okay. So obviously my mother, my grandmother, inspired me in my life. Those are, there's another woman named Asha Kamali. She was, these are people that y'all may not know, but I had a lot of good mentors, family, friends in my daily life. But then when I look at people that are in the industry that really, encouraged me, it would be like, the main one would be Queen Latifah. Over the course of a long time, guys, I'm not even kidding you. She has been such an influential person in my life, has continuously uplifted me and gave me opportunities, and also showed me, like, in action, how to be a leader, how to be a legend. I mean, I remember one time when I was doing Joyful Noise, she had caught, at this point, she and I had done like 3 projects together, I think, maybe 2, maybe this was our 3rd. But we had kept doing stuff together, and the director of the movie had told me, when I asked Queen who she would like to play her daughter, when I was getting down to the girls, you and the other girl for the role, she said, I would really like it if Keke Palmer played my daughter. And I'm like, no, Queen said that? I can't believe that. So one night, while we're finishing the movie up, they're like, oh, Queen want to talk to you in her trailer. And so it's her, Shakim, a couple of her friends hanging out. And I'm like, Queen, I just, want to thank you so much for letting me be in this movie. And I want you to know the director told me what you said about me, and it meant so much. And she said, well, Keke, I love you, but I got to be honest. I didn't just say that because I think you're a great young woman. I do, but I said it because I see your work ethic. I see you out there going for it every time. Every time I turn my head, I'm like, Keke's up to something else. So I knew that in hiring you, you were going to show up and you were going to do the work. And you were going to get us out of here on time. And I'm like, that really meant a lot to me, because it's like, yeah, you cool and I live for you, girl, but you're also a professional. And that means something to people. So it doesn't, be on time, do the lines, be somebody that people can count on. And so even in those actions, how she showed me what was important, those are things that I've taken to the hills,
Yeah, and that's good, because I think a lot of times in our generation, we expect things to come with a quickness without putting in the work. And you're telling us that
you
was a
sometimes
work.
got to work harder.
Right.
And these people are watching you. They are watching you. Everybody that I have worked with, I don't even know. I remember I was doing Scream Queens. And I don't know if you guys ever heard of this song I did called I Don't Belong to You. So I did this song, I Don't Belong to You, and I'm on the set of Scream Queens. And Jamie Lee Curtis is on the show, obviously a legend and icon. She comes up, she says, I seen that new song you put out. Keke, how do you have time? The feminist language, the empowerment, I got it all. Keep it up. And it's like, you don't even know they're watching you, but they're watching. And she always has supported me till this day. And so it's just really awesome when you get the opportunity to be around these people that have had all this longevity. And you see that really it's simple for them. Come there, do the work, go home, be with your family. That's it.
Y'all can clap it up for that. Yes. So I'm going to segue into talking more about motherhood. Period. I love how you just lit up there, because that's how I lit up when I saw this viral clip of you that was like literally going viral. You were walking, like I think you were backstage or something, and you walked past your baby. You was like, hand me my child. And you start carrying your baby in them high heels and juggling it was amazing. I was like, yo, this is so metaphorical. Like, this is like how she's balancing life, motherhood, career.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Yeah. So how is that, like juggling it all?
It's definitely tough. It's not easy. Yeah. But my son helps me to put things in perspective. I think, that's the beauty of children is you know, in order for me to be my best with you, I have to have really strong boundaries in every other aspect of my life. Personally, professionally, just everything, so that I can make sure that I can be on point and give my best to you. That's my baby. Thank you for that picture. That's my boo. Yes, I love you. He really, has given my life so much meaning. And I feel like my life had meaning before. I always had purpose in my community, and just, the foundation of church and God, and just like, I want to be something. I want to do something. I'm here for a reason. But when I had my son, it just became that much more. He gave me a strength. And I remember talking to my best friend all the time, where when I was pregnant with him, I was like, something about this baby feels strong. Like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like that was the kind of vibe that he gave me, that I could just overcome and do what I needed to do. And I was on point. And then when he came out, guys, he literally, that's his attitude. Very... And who are you? And it just makes me feel strong. And it's so funny, because when you become a mom, you think about all the stuff with your mom. And I think about my mom and how my mom is like, girl, I used to be so scared and stuff like that. But then I see you wasn't scared. And so I said, I'm going to be fearless. And so there are these things that your kids show you how to be. And I think my son gave me so much strength, guys. It's truly.
Wow.
That made me think about our girl Whitney. I didn't know my own strength. Y'all remember that song? Yes, we love that. Oh my gosh, I love her.
I'm here for it. All the impersonations. Like, I'm here for it. I am here for it. Okay, before we go, you got to do Angela Bassett. I'm going to just put that on the table.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Y'all want to see Angela?
The funny thing about it is that this stuff started when I was a kid, because my family and I, that's what we loved to do. We loved to watch movies. And one of our favorite stories was the Michael Jackson story, The American Dream. Okay, so much so, my family packed us up in the car and we drove to California for The American Dream. That's how inspiring their story was to us. And so I used to do this scene where she find out that he cheating on her, and she goes, you a lie, and you a cheat, and I don't want you no more.
Y'all give it up for Keke. Yo.
I love Angela.
No, that was so spot on. Listen.
Thank you
the
so
biopic.
much. I love her.
Come on. So, quick question about creativity and motherhood. Do I have any creatives in the building? Okay.
I know that's right.
Because a lot of times our creativity can be influenced by life circumstances and situations. And I'm wondering, has parenthood influenced your creativity?
I think it really has.
Yeah.
It's influenced, the way I show up creatively, I think, the most. From how I present, my fashion, the story I'm telling with that. The type of projects I've always been really critical about choosing, but I think even more so now, not even so much about the projects, but which aspect of my career I'm looking into the most. I think I've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, a lot more business stuff as opposed to just performance and talent stuff, just seeing how to evolve out of that space, also so that I can have more balanced time with my son. So I know when I'm starting and I'm finishing, and I can have more of a consistent schedule. But overall, I think, the strength, the energy that I get as a mother, as a boss, as somebody that is looking at things from a wider vantage point, I do think it's inspired my work in a different way. It's allowed me to kind of be more of an observer. Come on, I'm hearing like it's like...
Yeah, I know. It's just like...
They were like very fashionable claps. Like, I love that. It was like...
Right.
Very cute. Very demure.
Very mindful. So in addition to being a mother, you are a new author. Y'all got the book, right? Okay. Listen, Master of Me has been soaring the charts, and it hasn't even come out already.
Oh my gosh, no, thank you.
It's on Barnes & Noble's bestseller, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
The proof is in the pudding, seriously.
Oh my gosh.
So in this specific book, you're talking a lot about controlling your own narrative.
Yes.
And what is something that you wanted the readers to take away from that? Like, why is it important to control your own narrative?
Well, my mom used to always tell me when I was a kid, never let somebody's perception of you be your perception of yourself. And it's said so much, and it's even can be seen as a cliche, but a cliche, usually that means because it's really true. It's really facts. It's something that's overused because it's very real. And so as I've gotten older, that's continuously become more and more true to me. And I guess what I wanted people to know in the book is that you are the author of your life. I don't care what you've gone through. The way that you perceive it is what you can either let empower you or disempower you. And other people don't have the ability to do that. You know what I mean? Like it's with anything. I don't know. It could be something small. I stubbed my toe. No, I just tripped. I mean, it could be however you want to spin it, put it. It's about how you perceive it. Other people cannot tell you what has happened to you or what you have gone through. You are the author of that story. And so that's what I mean by master of me. You know, my first book, I Don't Belong to You, Quiet the Noise and Find Your Voice, I put that out when I was 21, and it was about that. It was me realizing that I could quiet the chatter in my mind to really lift up the volume on my true intuitive voice. And then now at 31, it's about now I can choose what that intuitive voice is saying with intention. I have the clarity of where I'm headed, of where I'm going to go, and how I want to steer that ship. And so it's just that awareness. And so it's my way of using my stories and my journey to help hopefully encourage other people to say, it doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter what that person did. You get to decide how you feel about it. You know, reframe, redirect, and move on.
That's so good. We're going to have to add preacher to your bio because you was preaching. Seriously.
Oh my gosh. Well, what do they say? When one or two of us together?
You better preach.
Y'all know.
Come on. So in your book, you also became like really candid about setting boundaries and forgiveness. Now, without telling too much to the audience, because we want y'all to read the book, what exactly do you think is important for us to know about forgiveness and boundaries in terms of living a overall better quality of life?
So I feel like boundaries for me was something I really had to learn because even the kind of family that I come from and just my faith background, it can be very self-sacrificial. But I was putting a philanthropist attitude in all of my relationships, and it would leave me kind of like, who said empty is perfect? Yeah, it would leave me empty. And then also, I'm not even telling the people in my life how to show up for me because I'm not giving them no line to not encroach upon. I'm just like, I'm here. And then by the time it's over, I'm like, you're done. And they don't even know why they're done because I never told them until I got pushed to the edge that they didn't know was there. And so learning my boundaries and how to actually truly love people. Sometimes loving people is telling them no. Telling your family, no, I can't do this. Telling your partner, no, I can't do this. Telling your kids, no, baby, I can't do this. Because you know how you really do, and it's hard to do it with people that you love. So that's a big thing that I talk about in the book when it comes to boundaries is making sure that you're being real with the people that you love in your life. And then the other aspect that you had just asked about, which was not only boundaries, but you said forgiveness. The forgiveness, when a lot of times I think when we think about it, we think, okay, that means reconciliation. It doesn't really mean that. I think for me, forgiveness is putting myself in the position of the other person so that I don't personalize what they did to me. Forgiving them is understanding what would make you do this, and I can understand that. Doesn't mean I have to fool with you, but I can understand that so that now I'm not taking on the projection of the pain you caused me. I could say, oh man, they was going through a hard time. They didn't know what they was doing, and that's cool and that's all right. I don't know if I'll ever be able to be cool with them, but you know what? I forgive them for that. And I'm now free of the burden of thinking that I deserve to be treated like that. You know what I mean? That's the best way I can put it. Because you'll really take that on.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. You start to internalize it.
You really will.
Yeah.
Everything becomes so personal. And you know, my dad used to tell me that when I was a little girl. He would say, Keke, you take things personal. Everything's not personal. I'm like, yes, it is. You hurt me. But he was telling the truth. He would tell me, my dad dropped so many gems because when you take everything personal, and really everything, most things actually are not personal. Yes. And if you just go around in your life taking everything personal, then you're believing everything people are putting on you. Yep. You're believing that you're worthless. You're believing that you deserve to be hurt. You're believing that you deserve to be left alone. You're believing it all. But when you say it's not personal, it actually has more to do with them than it does with me, then you're free. You're free of it.
You're literally giving us the steps to freedom, like how we can free ourselves from this internalization of blaming others and being defensive all the time.
Oh my gosh. I'm happy that you feel that way, because that's definitely how I want to be in my life and feel in my life, is free.
Yes.
Free of it all, because I can't control it. You know, so if I can't control it, then I've got to be able to get me together. I can't control the external situations, but me and how I feel about it, that's under my control. So baby, let me come out with my blue dress on with the black flowers on it and look good, because that's what I can control.
Come on, control the controllables.
You know what I mean?
Are y'all getting something from this? Y'all learning from Keke?
I'm so glad.
Okay. Do y'all have questions in your mind that you want to ask her? Okay, so start getting your questions in your mind. I gave somebody my phone, so I need to know what time it is. Somebody shout out the time. 6:30. Okay, perfect. Okay, so in a couple minutes, we're going to start getting into Q&A, but we got a few more questions about Master of Me. All right, so thinking about the way in which you're writing, and you talked about you are not on anyone else's timeline but your own.
Yeah.
And that's a big one for us, because I feel like for our generation, we have the boxes we want to check at certain ages. Like, by this age, I want to do this. By this age, I want to do that. Why is that important for you to, like, tell everybody else, like, nah, we got to free ourselves from this timeline?
Because I think it's another thing that, like, doesn't make you feel free enough to even enjoy the path and the journey that you're on to do and be whatever you're supposed to be. Like, purpose, that word, it can be so awesome, but also it can feel like something you're trying to catch or something that you have to fulfill. I mean, in my mind, purpose can be over the course of a time, or it could be like in a minute. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like with the work that I did in Keelan and Me, if I never did another movie again, the impact of that movie has meant so much to me. You know what I mean? So we overbear ourselves with sometimes this idea of purpose, and it can make us feel like we're running out of time. But you know, for me, I think faith, which I speak about a lot in the book, is what helps me to know that, you know what, I don't have to try to, whatever that's gonna happen for me, it's gonna happen for me. Let me try to have fun. That makes it actually easier to come to me. And then there was something else that I wanted to say about this. Repeat the original question, it will remind me.
Yeah. So the timeline, so being on other people's timeline, just being on your own.
The other thing is, you're never out of time, and I always use Morgan Freeman as an example, because I always knew he was old. My mama told me he was young acting. I'm like, really? She said, girl, he was acting for years, but I didn't meet him till he was in his 50s. You know what I mean? But he was acting all those years. What if Morgan was at 30, like, nah, it ain't happening quick enough? We would never got Lean on Me, Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans, wrong actor. You know what I'm talking about. Tried to get me messed up. I know y'all was like, Remember the Titans. All Morgan's movies down. But, you know, my point is that a lot of times when you meet somebody where they're at, if they had stopped because that wasn't the age, or it was supposed to happen sooner, it would have never happened. So, we can't do this whole age thing, and this is the timeline. And I get it, as a woman, you're thinking about kids, and that also can play a part sometimes. My family, do I get married? I always say, follow your heart. Follow what's true to you. And everything will work out. That, following that gut, you can never go wrong.
Yes, that's so good. That's so good. Because, Keke, while you were talking, like, thinking about other people's timelines and, like, I got to do this, what's next? I got to achieve this or that or whatever. A lot of times that comes from not being in a place of being content with where you are now.
Yeah, that's true, too.
And, like, it sounds like you kind of, like, outlined that. Like, how can we kind of be in the space to where we're accepting of it and also kind of progressing to the next thing?
Yeah, I think it's coming from a place of gratitude. And really, honestly, comparison, we hear it again, it's another cliche, but it's true, is the thief of joy. It really is, guys. And it's unfair, because that person didn't even start where you started. So how can you compare yourself to them when y'all had two different beginning points? And y'all had two different lives and two different perspectives. You know what I mean? So I remember my dad, I was having another conversation with him, and he just randomly called me. He was like, Keke, I just want you to know that the only person you should ever compare yourself to is yourself. Because think about it. Oh, go ahead. Yes, clap for my dad. He's so wise. My dad is a great man. And he said, I remember the little girl from Robbins, Illinois. And I don't think she ever thought she would be where you are now. So as far as I'm concerned, you're a success. And that's what we have to remember, guys. Like, we are a success not based off of what somebody else is, but based off of us being just simply better than we was yesterday. That's a success. And so that's honestly, if you're putting it into like one word, that's just that's the work of gratitude. Having gratitude for where you are will always help you to put things in perspective in terms of where you think you should be.
See, this is why we need the book. Like, we can't wait till November 19th. Like, we need it now.
OMG, what good thing I got him. I'm just kidding, I don't have him. She just set it up like that. I felt like I had to go, you get a book, you get a book, you get a book, you get a book.
Yeah. Oh my God. You sure you're not a comedian too? Should we add that to the list of things that she does?
You know, we gotta laugh. We gotta laugh.
I can see that for you too, like a special, like it. I can.
Girl, that would be too much fun.
Yes.
Yes, very silly.
I love it though. I love it. So in your book, you also talked about unconditional love and worthiness. Right? And so these two concepts, I'm wondering, why is it important for readers to know this in order to master themselves?
Well, and I talk about this too in the book, that for me, it comes from a faith point of view. And I think also in terms of how I realize that relationships, in my opinion, should have conditions in life, because I already have unconditional love from God, and God has the unconditional love from me. So everything else, like, get it together, boo. You know, because no. And that was something I had to learn. You know what I mean? Seriously. That was something that I had to learn. And so I think the unconditional love for self and that relationship with God, the stronger that is, the more that you feel grounded in that, the easier it becomes to have the proper limits on what you will accept and not accept in your life. Because you're not looking for somebody to fill that cup. You're not looking for that love externally. You're having it from within. And so when you're solid in that, and then honestly, it always goes in and out. You know, life is always, and then it's like, ooh, G-O-D, it's been a minute. Let me get back linked up because I've been out here tripping. You know, you can always get back in it, you know what I mean? But when we do for me, this is, and the book is about how I've mastered me. I can't tell other people. And I think it's so big because a lot of people don't know how they feel spiritually. They've had a hard time. The church done did them wrong. Their mama judged them. And you know what I mean? It's hurtful a lot of times. But to me, it's really about a personal relationship, you know, that lets you know that I'm good regardless. And I'm never truly alone. And so that, knowing that and reminding myself that I have that and that I'm worthy regardless of what's happening outwardly, it helps me to navigate what is a very lonely place most of the time.
And I love how you're... Yes, yeah. It sounds like healing is happening in the room right now as we're talking about it.
You know, and that's why I love to speak about this kinds of stuff and speak about hardship. A lot of times nobody wants to speak about it, but the truth is, and this is what I think is the grace of God, is like, we alone, but we alone all together. You know what I mean? That's some crazy stuff, ain't it? Like, we all alone on the lowest of keys, but we all in the room here alone together. And that's the community. That's the beauty of community. That's why, for me, growing up with my family and having that sense of community, that always helped us, because it is hard. But when you look over to your brother or your sister and you say, I'm having it hard too, then you feel you have a sense of perspective that, you know what? I'm not alone in this hardship. Everybody's dealing with it. Everybody got a monkey on their back, whatever it is. You know what I mean? We're all dealing with it, and it helps you to know that I can get through. And so with everything I do, whether it's a movie and you watching Aquila and the Bee, we're all in there together, or we're here, we're talking about the book, or even the book when you're reading the book or listening to the audio book, I'm hoping that it creates a sense of community. You know, where you can say, oh, Keke too, and then you can say, did you get the book? Because, oh yeah, me too. Well, let's talk about it now. 3 of y'all together talking about it. 4 of y'all together, or a room of y'all. You know, that's, to me, that's the purpose of what I put in my artistry and my work, is to say, we here together, and it's tough, but let's try to create a moment of enjoyment, entertainment, paradise while we're here, if we can.
Yeah. And you being, y'all can clap it up. You being transparent in your walk in this and like just figuring it out, it allows other people, even in this room, to feel validated. Like, I feel seen by the words that Keke is expressing. So we definitely appreciate you for that.
That means the world to me. It truly does. Thank you so much. It really does.
Yeah. So when we think Keke Palmer, I always think like, yo, she is the master of rebrand.
Oh
like
my
the way
gosh.
yes, for sure. Like the way you brand yourself and rebrand, like it's literally an art to it. And you share in your book how restarting your career after 10 years in the industry, I'm wondering, why do you think it's important for readers to recognize when it's time for a reset
Yes.
and to choose a new direction in your own life?
Well, the book has a lot of personal stuff to it, but it also has a lot of business stuff to it as well. So I love how you brought up the rebrand and just being multifaceted and a career person. We're obviously in such a corporate overlord. I think more than ever, like it's just so much going on. It's hard to figure out how to get your footing or feel autonomous. And I feel like for me, I found that in being able to diversify my portfolio in every aspect and using the leverage that I've had and what I've learned skill-wise from other companies and taking them to other avenues, whether it be me as an entertainer and performer, taking that to hosting or taking that into being an author or whatever it is. And I think for me, it sounds like it's more work, and it probably is, but there's so much freedom in that when I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. And so my desire is to also help readers feel like, okay, I can do my own thing and I don't have to. Look, if I want to depend solely on this one thing and I do have a vision of totally just making my way up into that one company, then that's great. But if I want to be able to feel like I could say no sometimes, then maybe I do need to pick up a couple of side things. And that seems crazy and that seems like, oh my gosh, that's too much. But when you get into the groove of it, you realize that, oh, wait a minute. Now I have the power of no because I got another job over here. I don't need this one gig. And then that means that the corporations, they don't get to have as much control over you because you kind of got, you dating all of them. You know what I mean? I mean, as a kid, my mom had me working for Disney and Nickelodeon. There wasn't no kids doing that.
Come on.
She was like, you with Nick and Disney. And I was like, yeah, I'm with Nick and Disney. So I believe in that. I think there's freedom in that, you know.
Yeah. That's why I don't really like the phrase, a jack of all trades is a master of none. I do not, that doesn't
And we talk
resonate.
about that in the book, that the actual continuation of the phrase is jack of all trades, master of none is often better than a master of one. Because that quote came around during the Industrial Revolution. So people wanted you to focus on one industry. They needed you to do that so that they could build their industry. But if you focus, keep clapping, yes. He says, preach. When you focus on you and what's important to you, and you are the industry, and you use the industries that are helpful to what you are trying to do, well, then they're actually working for you. You know, if you look at the businesses that you work with as trade schools, well, actually, I'll take this job. The money is okay, but I'll be able to put that skill on my portfolio and go over here to these other people and let them know that now I know how to do X, Y, and Z. And they actually paid me to learn that skill. So the gag's on you. Okay? Like that really helps you. It helps you feel better because otherwise you're going to be looking at it like I'm getting paid little. I don't want this. Yeah. This doesn't feel like it's intentional. I don't have clarity on where I'm taking it. But when you think about it from the fact of they're actually paying me to learn a skill that I can use for other stuff. Oh, well, we're going up from this.
Only up from here. And Keke,
thank you.
Yeah. What they say all the way up?
All the way up. I heard that in the back. That gave me life. All the way up.
What is one overall lesson that you want the viewers and the readers to take away from this book?
The overall thing I think that I want to say, I guess, with the book is just like, I mean, honestly, I think about that Jordan Sparks song, one step at a time, is no need to rush. It's like learning to fly or falling in love. Life is a journey, seriously. And all we can do is obtain the skills we can to move on to the next, to be patient with ourselves, to have grace, to hug on your community. Let your community hug on you. Be real with what you're going through. Then get up the next day and try again. It's just, for me, that's what I'm sharing in the book, is that to get to be where I'm at, if somebody looks at me and say, Keke Palmer, she's doing it. Well, it hasn't been linear like that. It's been like this. And guess what? Now I'm at the stage where I embrace that. I accept that. I expect that because I know it's only going to make me better. And so I think that's what my hope is. So to embrace the hard times just as much as you embrace the good times.
Well, if you ain't helped nobody else today, you helped me, because I feel like I'm in that zigzag stage that you talked about. So
We never get out of it. It's
Come
like too
on.
much. It's crazy. Life is just, you be like, God, quit. You funny.
Did y'all get anything from this conversation? Okay. I'm here for it. I'm here for it, because y'all had the energy high the whole time.
They really did.
Yes.
It's been amazing.
I love it. So we're going to go ahead into our Q&A portion.
Okay.
And we have a microphone in the audience, so you all can just raise your hand if you have a question for Keke.
$50 a question.
If you were going to do a vision board, what a couple of things would you have on your vision board for the next 3 to 5 years?
Oh, that is such a great question.
I like that.
So on a vision board, and when we think vision board, like things that I want to do in the future, like, you know, what I would manifest for myself, correct? So I would probably have so I have an organization called Key TV that is both exists like a foundation and a network. We showcase the work on all digital platforms, but we also finance, you know, BIPOC creative projects in totality, you know, just to help, you know, because it's hard to get our stuff started and use our platform and our sponsors to promote it. So I would love to be able to have a festival with Key TV. You know, I would love to have a festival where we can showcase more of the work. I would love to have more partners to help us bring more classes to some of the people that want to learn different things to do in the industry, from being a costumer to being a director of photography, a prop master, all the jobs that are not as popularized. You know, in our community, I think it's mostly like being the player as opposed to being the owner. And so really showcasing all the things you can do in the industry. So I would love to have more established with Key TV, more sponsors, and a festival that we can showcase more of the work. And then I would love to have a daytime talk show. That would be fabulous. I would love that. That would be fab.
I can see that.
I would love it. Hey, you know it's your girl. So look, this is what we're getting into. I would live for that. I would live for that. What else would I love to do? You know, I would love to have more kids. That would be great. I would love to have more children. Yeah, I think those are in my immediate mind when you said that's what I would love. You know. Thank you. That would be so fun. Waking up with y'all in the morning. Too good. How you doing?
Hey, Keke. Do you mind if I get close a little?
Yes,
Is that okay?
I don't mind at all. Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Yadi, and I'm here with my team, actually, One Village Alliance, and
Woo!
we have an event coming up this Saturday. Girls Can Do Anything. And I'm putting together a series of videos from influential women for the International Day of the Girl Child, which is tomorrow.
Okay.
It promotes the challenges that girls face globally, and it promotes the education and mental health awareness that girls need overall. And I'm putting together a series of video where I'm asking women, what would be one message that you would give to younger girls all around the world?
Okay, one message I would give to younger girls all around the world. One question. Right, I'm like, that's a loaded one. You gotta be right. Okay, you filming me? Okay, I would say you already got everything you need, just let it come out.
I like that.
You said what? Free Palestine. Amen. Yes, amen.
Hi. I just wanted to know, do you have any advice for young actresses such as myself who want to have a professional acting career?
This one is so tough because there's so many different entry points of the industry. Like when I was a kid, there was really no internet or digital stuff. And then we had internet, but it wasn't like Instagram and Facebook. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think MySpace had started yet. So I had to do it the traditional way, finding an agent. You know what I mean? And I can give you tips on finding an agent. Is someone shouldn't be asking you for money right off top. They should get a percentage. A typical percentage would be somewhere between 5 to 10% of the money they help you make. And there are tons of different, agencies that you can go to that are specific for the type of work that you want to do. But then nowadays, there's so many other ways to be an actor where you could simply act. You can act doing videos online. You can find a community theater and do work in your community theater or at your school. Or you can make one. You could create a theater with like-minded people that, hey, let's do something together. I want to get my creativity out. I want to be an actor. It's truly just about anything you want to do, whether it's acting, singing, dancing. It is about doing the thing and finding ways to do the thing. And I think the most difficult thing about being an artist, for any artist, is thinking that doing the thing means a certain level of validation. If you really love the thing, you'll do the thing, no matter who's watching. And so I think always keep that in mind.
That's really good. Awesome. We have one in the back.
Hey, Keke.
Hey.
So my name is Annette Fletcher. I am a queen, as is my sister, Andrea Blassingame.
Hey, boo.
And we are here celebrating the queendom, and we just wanted to share how we see the queen in you moving in authenticity and continuing to encourage women and girls. We see the queendom in you, and we just wanted to say that we are here to celebrate you. We appreciate you. You are amazing. And thank you for finding the time to come and celebrate the women and girls here in Delaware. We sincerely appreciate you.
Thank you. It truly means the world to me. Seriously, this is my life's work. This means the world to me. So thank you.
We have one back here.
Hello.
Oh. Hey, with the baby.
Hi, Ms. Palmer. My name is Sarisa. So I am a single working mother with 2 jobs. And I just
Come on, Reba.
I just want to know how you deal with kind of the harsh reality of being a woman of color, having to work so much and being away from your child and the guilt that gets placed on you. How do you kind of cope with that a little bit? Because I know your job is way harder than mine.
It's really hard. The guilt part that you just said, it's really, really hard. What do? I think I really lean on my mom for that support to help me. I think as moms, we really put ourselves in these specific boxes of what a good mother is. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, a good mother is providing for the baby. And how do you expect me to provide for the baby and be with the baby if the baby can't be at my job? And then I got to have more jobs in order to provide for the baby, especially because I'm a single mama, and as a single mama, which is it, y'all? And it becomes so stressful. So for me, the best way that I deal, sometimes I cry, sometimes I'm sad. Sometimes I say, Mom, I feel like, am I doing enough? Am I doing it right? Does he really know how much I love him? And you just get so in your head. And my mom tells me, girl, I dropped you off at my mama's house and left. And I'm like, wait a minute. I was at grandma's a lot. And she was like, you turned down fine. She said, it's not about the quantity of time. It's about the quality of time.
That's good.
And that really helps me. It really does,
Yeah. Right over.
I was like, dang, mama.
We have one over here.
Hi, Ms. Palmer. My name is Ashley, and you talk a lot about your faith and your love for God, and I want to know, as a church girl myself, how you maintain that faith and that love for God in the Hollywood industry.
Well, I mean, look, y'all know, just like I know, everywhere you go to work, people don't connect with God per se. Doesn't mean they're all terrible people. They just don't have the same, you know what I mean? Just because they don't follow what you follow, it doesn't mean they're a bad person. So, I think for me, I do what my dad raised me to do, which is treat everybody how I want to be treated. And if somebody's doing something that I don't really jive with, then I'm not involved with them. But just like with every industry, every job, there are people that you connect with and there are people that you don't connect with, whether that be personally, morally, or spiritually. And you just know that that's not, if, hey, they did a little something that I didn't see. What they talking about? I'm going to stay away from that. Or, she cool. Wow, I didn't know. She opened my eyes about that. It's just relational in life. And, I think I am the kind of person that's very open in terms of my faith. It's like I do everything I can never to be righteous in my faith. It's like, that's my faith. I read the book for me. I don't read the book to tell you what to do. So I think that's also the thing. It's like, I believe what I believe, you believe what you believe. As long as you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. That's how I feel about it.
I love it. We have another one back here.
Hi, Keke. My name is Corey. My question is, what was it like to make the movie Alice with Common? And also, what's your dream role?
I loved working with Common, y'all. First of all, Common was trying to turn me into a vegan. Those meals were good. I was like, Common, you was eating like this? I know vegans had it like that. He was so nice. I really loved it. I mean, we're both from Chicago. I mean, he's from the city. I'm from the south suburbs. Just a really nice person. And we both cared so much about the message of that movie and doing something that, if you guys haven't seen Alice, it's like kind of like a aspirational, like little black exploitation, but about slavery and civil rights. It's very hard to put it all into context here, but it was such a heavy subject that we wanted to no longer want to talk about history, but want to not talk about it from the place of the oppressor. Talk about it from the place of the surviving people, about the strength, the power, the courage. And so anyway, working with him was awesome because we both came in with the same state of mind. And he's become a great friend and, just a great guy all around. And then to the other question, there was another part to that. My dream role. I love that. Yeah. My dream role. That's hard, guys. Well, I mean, the biopic that I would have loved to do, obviously it would be great to do Angela as well. But the biopic that I always wanted to do, they done did too many of them. You know what I mean? It's my girl. And I wish you joy. That would just be everything to play my girl Whitney. But they've done too many of them. So it's like, let's let her rest. Because how many more wigs we gonna put on? That's too much. You know what I mean? We done seen too many iterations, y'all. It's like, give me a break. So, but her story, if I thought about a biopic. Other than that, I don't know. I would just, any role that is impactful, good storytelling, can take people on a journey, I would love to do.
All right, we have one more.
I just wanted to move back to faith really quick and ask you if your faith is something that gave you the courage to do roles like hosting HBO's Legendary or Pimp, because that part of our community gets shut down a lot, and
It's so true. And 100%, it definitely is. I think the thing about it is what I was saying to the other young lady, is that the God I know loves everybody. I don't know the God that don't love everybody. That's not the God I know. So for me, the Pimp character, that's my cousin Natalie. She was there with us Easter Sunday, Christmas, church. That's my family. And I love her. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really like all that. You know what I mean? I feel like, God's love is inclusive. He created us all. He knows all our journeys. He knows where we're going, where we're going to be. And so for me, yes, when I look at Legendary or Pimp or anything that is apparently off or not what it's supposed to be in God's eyes to some people, to me, that is a part of my work, to tell those stories and hopefully open people's hearts to see things differently,
I love it. I love it. Amen. I think that was our last question. Yeah, okay. So we are out of time, y'all. Did y'all enjoy Keke?
Thank you, guys.
Yes, let's stand up.
Thank
she
you, guys.
She did her thing.
I really, really appreciate you guys all being here. It's a wonderful introduction to Delaware. Such beautiful people, all of you here tonight. Thank you for listening, and hopefully you're interested in the book. I love you guys, too. but I have enjoyed this time. I truly have. I truly have.
You did an amazing job. Thank you for coming to Little Old Delaware. I want to see her back. Y'all want her to come back?